Hello, welcome back to my channel and the bathroom. My name is Kelsey and today we are here to do my May TBR. So once again, I don't have the books with me. I'm at my boyfriend's house. Most of these I'll be reading like via my library by audiobooks or ebooks. So we'll get right into it because I only have 10 minutes before supper. So let's get to it. So there's two things I want to do in the month of May. The first being reading some books I've had on my TBR for a bit of time that I really want to get to. The reason why I mention that is because May is Asian Pacific Heritage Month. So the majority of my books on my TBR, I wanted them to fit within those categories. There is also the Asian Readathon hosted by Read with Cindy, which I will link down below. And the point of that is to read books written by Asian authors. And so I really tried to follow through with that. I'm not going along with the prompts, but just trying to include as many Asian authors as I can on my TBR. So the first half of this video will be the books that don't fall into that category. So the first book I have is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This, from what I understand, is a book about a girl who had a relationship previously with her teacher during her high school years. And she's always thought that it was a good relationship, that he was a good man and he treated her with respect. It just didn't work out. And it follows her later in life when kind of accusations are coming out against this teacher. And she looks back at this relationship and wonders, like, was I being manipulated? Was this really the healthy relationship that I had always thought it was? So this really, really, really intrigues me. I bought it. I had pre-ordered this book just to support the author, and I'm very excited to give it a go. I know that this is gonna probably break me, make me cry, so we love that. The next book on my TBR is The Humans by Matt Haig. This was gifted to me from my friend Ness, so I'm really excited to finally read this one. From what I understand, this is a book about an alien who comes down to Earth to kind of see if like humans are worth saving or to destroy us, one or the other. And he enters the body of a dog, and from that point of view, he learns things about humans. I obviously don't know a lot about this book because it's one of like my most anticipated on my physical TBR at home, and I've been really meaning to read it. I don't want to know much about it because I have a feeling that I'm really gonna like it, so the less I know the better. So the next book on my TBR is the second installment in the Something Dark and Holy series by Emily A. Duncan. This follows the installments that happen in the first book. Basically this series follows three main characters. Nadia, oh my god, how do I pronounce his name? Because I've never like said it out loud. Malachi's, I think it's Malachi's, and Seraphin. Basically Nadia's country and Seraphin and Malachi's countries are warring together, and Nadia goes to Trinavia to destroy the king in order to end the war. I am really looking forward to it. I just reread Wicked Saints last month in preparation for Ruthless Gods, so I'm super excited to read this. I'm absolutely fascinated by it. And we're back from supper. I'm a little bit tipsy and I have wine with me, so Next book I will be reading is finishing off a series by Libba Bray, and that's King of Crows. This is the Diviner series, which takes place in 1920s New York. It follows a group of kids and they have these mystical powers that they use to fight this evil entity that we've been discovering over the past 4 books. This is the finale. I am about 100 pages in and I'm really enjoying it so far. So although I don't want this to end, I'm actually really excited to see how it unfolds. And the next book is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is for my work book club. I will tag one of my fellow booktubers that's in my work book club, Daniela, down below. So The Bear and the Nightingale follows a girl who was born of, I guess, Russian witches descent, and her life starting from when she was born to young adulthood, and how she copes with kind of being the only witch in her town. When her stepmother comes into the town with a priest, they worship the old gods and would leave trinkets and stuff behind, and they were doing very well. And then once Christianity moves in to their area of land, things start to go wrong, and it's how this young witch kind of adapts with that. I'm a 250 pages in about. I'm almost finished, so look forward to that in the wrap-up because I will definitely be finishing it soon. Next, we will move into the Asian authors that I will be reading for this month. So the first one is Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nagan. I read the first book in the series maybe last year when it had just come out, and I pre-ordered the second one and it probably came last year also, but I haven't had a chance to read it, obviously. But I really like this series. It follows a girl who ends up being chosen to go to the Demon King's home, where she works as this consort and falls in love with one of the other ladies in the castle. That's a pretty like base synopsis. I don't know what the second one is about at all, and I'm really excited to dive straight in because I was a bit disappointed is not like the right word, but I didn't particularly enjoy the ending of the novel. So I'm excited to see where Natasha Nyan takes us into this second book. Next, I will be reading The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chotsky. It takes place in 1889 Paris, I believe. Basically, the gang of individuals that the story revolves around are in Paris to kind of take down the order, and in order to do that, they need to search for this artifact. In doing so, hoping to change the course of history. So I've only heard that this has been compared to Six of Crows, which I really enjoyed, that like group dynamic, kind of committing crimes, I guess you could say. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've heard mixed things on this, but Heather from Aphrodite Reads really enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure she gave it 5 stars, and that's what kind of pushed me to buy this book off Book Outlet and dive into it. Next, I have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This is a book that I saw Ali from Ali Enchanted reading and like really enjoying. She's like one of the people that made me buy this book as soon as it came out, and I still haven't read it. So here I am today vilifying this action. From what I understand, The Poppy War follows a girl named Rin from her childhood into adulthood, and the majority of the story takes place where she's going to this military school in order to be prepared to go to war. I don't know much else about it, just that I know it's gruesome, I know it's dark, and those are the things that I really enjoy in my fantasy. I'm excited to see how R.F. Kuang ties in kind of shamanic powers into the novel, and this premise sounds really amazing. So obviously, like all the books on this TBR, I'm really excited to read it. So the next book is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amar El Motar and Max Gladstone. This book is about 2 time travelers, and they kind of work for warring factions, and both of them, I guess, over the course of time in correspondence, and they're trying to compete against one another to ensure the best possible future for their faction. And then I know that a romance ensues, and I'm pretty sure it's female, so really looking forward to this. Next on my TBR is An Ember in the Ashes by Salah Tahir. This is a book I've heard about for ever since I started watching booktube videos. I'm pretty sure the first YouTuber that I watched talking about this was Hannah from A Clockwork Reader. This is like one of her favorite series, so I've always been meaning to read it. So this follows a girl named Leia and a boy named Elias. Leia is a slave and Elias is a soldier, but neither one of them is really free in this world inspired by ancient Rome. So Elias and Leia work together to kind of take down the tyranny that works to destroy both their lives. I hope there's like gladiators in here since it's inspired by ancient Rome, but all I know is that it's this rebellious girl and I'm here for it. I want to read this so badly. And the last book I will be reading this month is Underground, The Tokyo Gas Attack by Haruki Murakami. Haruki Murakami is one of my favorite fiction writers. He writes a lot of magical realism, but in this case, this is a work of nonfiction. It follows the Tokyo subway system gas attack in 1995. I would be more comfortable reading exactly what it is because I am reading this book to learn more details about it. I only know a brief history on it, but I feel more comfortable reading exactly what it is. So it was a clear spring day, Monday, March 20th, 1995, when 5 members of a religious cult conducted chemical warfare on the Tokyo subway system using sarin, a poison gas 26 times as deadly as cyanide. The unthinkable had happened. A major urban transit system had become a target of a terrorist attack. This is something I know from modern Japanese history, and it's something that I always wanted to learn more about. So I'm very excited to read about it from one of my favorite authors. And that's it. That's my May TBR. Are you reading any of these books? Please let me know. What are you reading? If I got something wrong, please argue with me down in the comments. Argue with me anyways, because I love to debate. And like, subscribe, click that little notification bell. I don't know how to end these things. I will see you next time. Bye.